I even begin? The Buffalo Bills lose their second straight game heading into their bye week, and they also lose their lead on the AFC East division. What's going on, Bills Mafia? You're watching the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Tyler Smith, and not a lot went right for your Buffalo Bills in Week 6. The Falcons, coming off a bye, don't even put up a crazy number of points. Actually, the Bills' defense, I'd say, did a pretty solid job in the second half, limiting them to just 3 second-half points. But it was a tale of two halves for that unit. Absolutely demolished by Bijan Robinson throughout this game, over 200 all-purpose yards. Drake London absolutely diced this Buffalo Bills weak defense. Weak. And the offense did them no favors either. Only looked good on 2 drives of the game. Their first of the first half and their first of the second half. The Bills were given opportunity after opportunity, and they squandered each and every one of them. They opened this game by forcing a fumble, but Greg Rousseau was lined up off sides, and that set in motion the avalanche of mistakes after mistakes for your Buffalo Bills. There's a lot of soul searching to do heading into the bye week and beyond. My question to you before we break down this game is this: are the Buffalo Bills a bad football team? Because I think that they might be. I think that if they don't have this guy, number 17, they are a bad football team. Why for yes and for no? Comment down below. Look, man, it just, when you get basically doubled up in yardage, when you basically, you can't get another stop on third down, you continue to allow explosive plays on the ground and through the air, you're not going to win football games. 8 penalties, and I believe 7 of them came on the defensive side of the ball, giving Atlanta first down after first down. The Bills, 2 of 9 on first down on third downs themselves on offense. Falcons at 5-12. It was enough to keep the chains moving and keep the clock running and keep the ball out of the hands of the Buffalo Bills. Look, man, Bijan Robinson absolutely torched you. If there's one thing that we still know, the Buffalo Bills' run defense is still bad. They can still not tackle. They showed a replay during the fourth quarter when the Falcons kind of had things in hand where Bijan Robinson made 5 Buffalo Bill defenders miss a tackle. Continues to be an issue. Cannot wrap up. And when you have a player as talented as Bijan Robinson, like, you can't allow those types of mistakes because he is going to make you pay. He is going to put explosive plays on the resume. And he did so in this game, an 81-yard touchdown. And it doesn't help that, the Bills' defensive line's not making the tackles last scrimmage. They actually made a fair number of stops. We'll talk about a couple of bright spots in the Bills' D-line in a little bit. But it's the second level and the third level defenders that make this Bills defense arguably a bottom 5 unit in the NFL. And I can't believe I gave these guys a pass for a couple of weeks. The safeties on this football team are so bad. Taylor Rapp cannot start on this team anymore. He just cannot. He can't cover. He can't tackle. He's afraid to go downhill. Just don't. We're done. I know it's like he's hard to replace at this point. The Bills have injuries in the secondary. The Bills have injuries at safety specifically. There is not a lot of room to improve at this position, but Taylor Rapp, damn for sure, is not good. This is a bad game for Cole Bishop as well. I mean, I want to talk about that 81-yard run from Bijan. Cole Bishop took one of the worst angles I've ever seen. That's something that Taylor Rapp does all the time, too. I didn't think that safety would be a detriment enough for this Bills defense to look as bad as it does, but maybe they are. Maybe they are just not good enough to go out there and be a top unit because they don't tackle. They don't cover. What do they do then? What do they do? They certainly didn't cover Drake London today. That's for damn sure. And they didn't always have that assignment. Bobby Babich had terrible assignments throughout the day. I mean, too often I saw Drake London wide open in the middle of the field, and the 2 closest defenders were Terrell Bernard, at least for the first half, and Dorian Williams or Shaq Thompson. It just can't happen. It's malpractice. But it doesn't stop there. It's not the bad defensive play calling, because it's hard to call good defensive plays when your defenders are bad. Trey White cannot play football anymore. I'm sorry. It is over. Michael Penix didn't even totally tear you up today because the receivers were just wide open all night. I didn't really see many tight window throws. I didn't see many downfield throws from Michael Penix in this game. Bills just can't cover. Bills had bad communication on defense as well. Trey White on one of the biggest drives, the last stop that the Bills had to get in this game. And I know they got a bunch of stops in the second half, but the one that meant the most, Trey White doesn't even look at Bijan Robinson running a wheel route, and then is like throwing his hands up in the air saying it's somebody else's fault. Get this guy out of CB2. I am done. He's not the player he was 5-6 years ago. Newsflash, Bills fans. It's getting really, really bad out there at the boundary. And it's not to say that, Christian Bedford has been a stud either, or Taron Johnson has been a stud either. Those guys got penalties during this game. Those guys allowed lapses in coverage during this game. Trey White is the creme de la creme of the worst. But bright spots. We got to get positive for at least 30 seconds during this video, right? Deone Walker's a player, man. Deone Walker's a player. Continues to make plays at the line of scrimmage 2 to 3 times a game. This guy looks virtually unblockable. I'm excited for his future. Ed Oliver returned in this game, like I mentioned earlier. There were not many bright spots, especially in the Bills' defense, outside of Deone Walker here. I'm not so sure that Bobby Babich should be the Bills' defensive coordinator. I'm not so sure that Bobby Babich should have a job as a defensive coordinator in the National Football League. The just consistent soft coverage. This is a team in the Atlanta Falcons who you were actually not supposed to allow the underneath routes and the catch and run ability of some of their weapons on that offense. Yet that's what they allowed. They continued to play off coverage. They continued to be bad in coverage. It's predictable. They're weak. I'm not sure that this Bills team defensively is good enough to win the AFC. So much went wrong. It's also like the undisciplined nature of them as well. And does that have to do with them being injured, suspensions, and stuff? Sure, we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But I'm not so sure that Bobby Babich is a guy that can go out there and put fear in the eyes of another opponent. And if you can't do that, then why do you have a job when the team's trying to win the Super Bowl? What do you guys think? What's it do with Bobby Babich, the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills? F for fire, K for keep. Comment down below what you guys think the Bills should do with their defensive coordinator. I don't think there's really a good chance that he gets fired at some point during the season, but hey, if things continue to trend in this direction, that might be a decision that the Bills have to go out there and make. You decide for me in the comment section. It's not just the defensive play calling, because the offensive play calling is atrocious as well. Joe Brady, he also may be coaching himself out of a job. Maybe not as the Bills offensive coordinator, but this guy's getting looked at for head coaching gigs at the pro and collegiate level. He might be coaching himself out of those as well. We'll talk about the Bills offense on the back half of today's show. First, though, I got to tell you guys about our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid and get you to 2,000 times your money this football season watching your Buffalo Bills. It's daily fantasy made easy. It's the best in the game because they offer the best deals. They'll offer max discounts with those slash projections, 99% off. They will do stacks, the only daily fantasy sports app that offers stacks, where you can have multiple of the same statistics from the same player in the same lineup. It's daily fantasy made easy. Just pick 2 or more players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. I love Prize Picks. I've been a customer longer than they've been a sponsor here at Chat Sports, the best in the game. My lineup for week 4 did not go as totally planned. It was pretty solid for the most part because I knew that Bijan Robinson was going to have a big day. He got in the end zone and he got way more than those 110 rushing plus receiving yards. James Cook was solid on the ground. He did get more than those 71.5 rushing yards, but did not get in the end zone in this game. The Bills offense did not get in the end zone much at all in this ball game. You can tell my picks or fade them. Just do the Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code CLNS for an awesome deal they're hooking you guys up with as well. Free $50 in your account when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. I'm not going to sit here and act like this game is on 17. Josh put it all on himself in the post-game presser. Talked about the receivers. Talked about the play calling. He's 17, man. He's going to go out there and wear it on his chest. He's the leader of this football team. He's the captain of this football team. He's the face of this football team. If they lose, in some way, shape, or form, it is on him. He had 2 interceptions in this game. The first one was bad. The second one got batted. The game was already lost. They were down 10 on their final drive. The last pick didn't matter, but Josh turned the ball over a whole heck of a lot. Josh is seeing more pressure, and that's turning into more sacks than we saw all of last season. He's already been sacked as many times as he was in the entire 2024 campaign. The Falcons threw 56% blitzes in this game. That's the most Josh Allen has seen since 2021. So you would think, right, with the Falcons sending 5 all the time, maybe sending 6 sometimes, these receivers would be able to get open, right? No, we'll talk about those in a second. Because what my real gripe is with Joe Brady here is just the ineptitude of decision-making. James Cook is by far the second best player on this Bills offense, bar none. Like, skill position-wise, not even close. James Cook's the second best weapon on this team. Why is he not in on third down? Why is he not in on fourth down? Why is he not in on money downs and money situations for the Bills if he continuously gives you 5 yards of tote, makes defenders miss, breaks tackles? How are you not putting your best football players on the field at the biggest times? It makes absolutely no sense. Now, another blunder from Joe Brady during this game was not a Dawson Knox end around. No, we got that a couple of weeks ago. No. It was a Elijah Moore end around. Cannot happen. Cannot happen. We cannot put faith in a guy who every other week is a healthy scratch. A healthy scratch. Every other week. Curtis Samuel in. Elijah Moore out. Elijah Moore in. Curtis Samuel out. How are you running an end around him? On 4th and 1. He fumbles it, gets tackled in the backfield. I think it was 3rd and 1. Regardless, they punted. And don't even get me started on 0. He gives you 0. Keon Coleman gives you nothing. When is this guy? Is he ever gonna break out? No. I'm gonna put my sword in the ground right now. Keon Coleman's a bad football player. He's not good. Doesn't separate. Not physical enough at the catch point. Can't do much with the ball in his hands. What is he good at? What is he good at? Somebody comment down in the comment section. What is Keon Coleman good at? Can't get vertical. Can't shift DBs. He stinks. And Brandon Beane needs to go out there and trade for a receiver yesterday. Like, this is embarrassing. Truly, truly embarrassing. Shakir did nothing. Did absolutely nothing. It's inexcusable. And yes, you're missing Dalton Kincaid in this game. Josh Palmer goes down with an injury. Does not return. But everybody eats. More like everybody starves to death. This team is so frustrating for how good they should be, for how much of a contender they should be. It is the ugliest football in the world. And the 4-2 record is not indicative. They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Saints barely. Beat the Dolphins barely. They beat the Jets handily. They're the worst football team I've ever seen. And they beat the Ravens by the skin of their teeth. This might not be a good football team. Dawson Knox, yeah, he had 1 catch. Touchdown. Awesome stuff. Where were you the entire rest of the game? Could you beat anybody in man coverage? The Bills' offense was just atrocious. It was just atrocious. O-line was breaking down more than it had. And look, the Falcons were setting a ton of pressure. I still think this Bills offensive line is solid and one of the better units in the league. But when the defense is sending 5 or 6 players at the quarterback, 5 players cannot handle all of them. It is simple math. So you would think with a lot of guys in the backfield, a lot of guys in the defensive backfield, down the field, there wouldn't be as many of those. And then the Bills receivers could go out there and maybe get open. No, they cannot. They cannot. The Bills went away from the run game. The only way that they actually scored these 2 touchdowns was pounding the rock with James Cook. Unfortunately, they couldn't do that in the second half. I don't know why, but just downright atrocious. Downright atrocious. Opportunities wasted, mistakes made. A lot of soul searching to do heading into the bye week and beyond. Now, I can't be all negative Nancy. Like, yes, this team is heavily battered and bruised and suspended in some areas. Dalton Kincaid didn't play. Matt Milano's hurt. Terrell Bernard goes down in this game. Josh Palmer goes down in this game. Other guys get banged up and they end up coming back in, but probably not playing at 100%. Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi are still suspended. Max Harrison's still on IR. Yeah, this stuff heavily impacts the team, but doesn't mean that there are a couple of injury comebacks and suspension comebacks away from being dominant. Not at all. Not at all. We'll talk more about this game and what the Bills need to do better heading into the bye. The Monday video we're going to break down tomorrow morning. breaking down all the injuries from this game because there was a laundry list. I couldn't even fit it in today's video and break them all down because we would have been here for a half hour. That's going to be on tomorrow's show. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/Bills News. There's a chance they don't win this division at this point. Go after you watch this video and look at the Patriots' schedule. There's a chance they could lose this division to be a wild card team after looking like a team that had everything going for them to be the #1 seed. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, let's go Buffalo.